Good afternoon. This is Friday, the 16th of April, 2021. Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern Time Zone. I am here because I promised. It is all exact. All right, I have strange things on my screen again. I don't know. Maybe I just forget from week to week and it doesn't change. My memory changes. I don't know. I'm invariably confused by it. I need a technically savvy grandchild to be my co-producer or something. All right, so I am here. Whoops, I am throwing cards. They're leaping about. Just a second. I've got my deck, The Wisdom of the Garden Path, which is available for sale on my website, which is www.joleith.com. There's a tab that reads oracle cards, and from there you can order and buy the cards, buy the shipping, I can mail them all over North America and to the UK. I've got that set up. Eileen, how good to see you. I hope all is well with you. Headlines out of your city. I have cards. The Wisdom of the Garden Path. So if you would like me to draw one for you, Eileen, I will certainly do that. And I haven't set an intention. Early this morning I had an intention to set an intention, and I didn't get to it because time seems to flow very rapidly these days. So where are we? We're halfway through. We're in Ramadan, which is a time of personal reflection and a great many other things. There's some wonderful, wonderful things about Ramadan. I think, did I just... Hello, Carol. Yes, I will. Absolutely. So I'm going to go with that since that's what came out of my mouth. A card that will give us a theme for self-reflection. Okay. I will do that. And I see okay, so this is for Carol, and the next one will be for Eileen. Carol. Okay, so the cards are asking you to reflect on beginning. Number one, that which comes after there is nothing, there is something. This is a daylily in its new season's growth, just completely ignoring, pushing through, pushing past everything that came before. Last year's leaves are still lying there. They're still attached to the corm underneath the plant, but they're being totally disregarded by the new growth because this is a time of new beginning. So reflecting on that, I don't know if there are things that you are beginning or that you're thinking about beginning, but as a place of self-reflection, and if you have been avoiding or procrastinating, then the cards know even more than we do. Okay, for Eileen and then Sally Ann. Hello, Sally Ann. I heard, was there snow in Wales? I heard something about something in Wales. I don't know. Okay, so Eileen, a topic for self-reflection. Love this card. I love all these cards. You know that. Curiosity. This was drawn early last week too. I don't think it was you, Eileen. It was somebody else. And it's so interesting. So the three of inspiration, the five of growth, that following. Sometimes we talk about on the internet falling down rabbit holes and winding up spending hours just following link to link to link. In some ways, this is that kind of energy, but it's about being present with your curiosity, making sure that it is serving some part of your life. It's not just about Jennifer Aniston's hairdo, right? It's being curious and getting into, because they add up to an 8, which is flow and balance and symmetry and fairness. So to reflect, maybe being fair to yourself when you do fall into an internet vortex. I'm not sure, but following your curiosity for sure, because that is your soul leading you in a direction, right? It's some piece of you really wants to know about how much salt there is in peanut butter. Then go look, find out, and learn about peanuts and peanut butter and whatever it is. That's very cool. Oh, Sally Ann, I do not wish to call bad weather into your world. Not at all. It's going to be all spring sunshine, I'm sure. Hey, Melanie, good to see you. Okay, Carol, reflecting on the life path. Would it be just shameless self-promotion if I told you that I thought you should come see me? Make an appointment. We can meet on Zoom and really look at your life path and where stuff is and all of that. All right, I guess actually shameless self-promotion is kind of why I'm here, isn't it? So, all right. So Eileen got to reflect on her own curiosity and what that means in her life and where she's going. And then Sally Ann in the spring. And then Melanie. And hello, Tanya. Tanya. One of the few people for whom I would draw without explicit permission. But there we are. Okay, so where am I at? I'm at Sally Ann, looking for a card that is going to offer you some direction in your self-reflection as you do some introspection, as you see that gorgeous creature in the mirror and want to know more. This is going to give you a starting place or a theme of some kind. Oh, all right, Sally Ann Mason, when you look in the mirror, reflect on your leadership abilities. Reflect on how you bring light into the darkness and knowledge into the ignorance and all of that kind of thing. The 2 and the 8 too is about who you are with community in relationships, and I kind of think I know that you are doing schooling at home right now, so that is a hugely important leadership role. The 8 is that fairness, that balance, that ability to be judicious in your decision making, being really scrupulous in how fair you are. And of course they're adding together to a 1, which is a reminder to you that this is your identity, this is who you are, as a leader, I want to keep saying that you bring the light into the darkness. I don't know. You're bringing wisdom to fools, and that I'm not calling your children fools, but maybe there are people around you who are learning from your example. You are leading, whether you're aware of it or not. So you can reflect on that. And maybe there are ways that you would expand on that and enhance that and be more intentional about it. I don't know. Melanie, a place for you to direct your self-reflection. Oh, okay, so number 6. I know that you do bring service to your community and you do help them. You do help them to, you help your community feel improved and be improved. And I don't know how you are in the lockdown right now, whether you maybe can't serve people personally. But the number 6 is that number of service and meeting responsibilities and all of that connection to the beautiful things in life. And that's in many ways what you do in your work, I know. So allowing is a message for self-reflection, allowing yourself to see these raspberry canes have bent over so that they won't get broken. They're not resisting the circumstances that they're surrounded by, right? So for you, sometimes when women are adapting to circumstances because they're in what is and they have to adapt and there's just no, we still can get all guilty and worried about not doing it right, and maybe we should have done it a different way, and perhaps the guidelines and the structure are much more square and I should have stayed upright and not bent over. But in fact, as you reflect on how you have been able to bend with the circumstances and how you have been able to make things better for everybody by being flexible about what's going on, I think that's what this is about. Really don't. Sally Ann Mason. Weren't you sad? Oh, that's okay. All right. I'm going to take that to mean that your partner is the holy fool, who is the seeker, who is on the path to enlightenment. And that's what I'm going to believe. Regina. Regina is in Ireland, I think. I love this. I got people from all over the place. Did I read? Okay, before Regina, good to see you, but Tanya was here ahead of you. Sorry. I'm going to read for Tanya. She's giving me a funny little red square. What's that about? Oh, it's a vibrating heart. Ooh, boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. So you're welcome, Melanie. I hope that made sense for you. Okay, so Tanya. Tanya. I miss you, Tanya. I have a long list of things to talk to you about. Yeah. Okay. Self-reflection for Tanya. Okay, number 12, loving the number 12. 12 is such an awesome number that shows up in so many systems around the physical world and around all of the major religions, I think, and all of the systems, like even astrology works with 12s. The sumac puts out a berry that can be crushed to make ink, so that you can communicate with nothing more than the sumac. This tree bush, shrub. It's a very young tree. Um, you can see the story of its whole season in the different colors of the leaves that are all present at the same time, just as the whole story of a novel is present if you hold the book in your hand. But when you read it, you follow along a linear path towards it, but it's all present. And I think in self-reflection, I think perhaps this is a call to that understanding that there is no time, stepping out of linear time, working with some of the really big metaphysical ideas. The one is your core identity, the two is you in community, in relationship, in the village that is your people, and they're adding together to a three, which is your point of inspiration. This is where the source of all things can flow through you into the physical world. So yes, I think this is a call to be involved with. Oh, good, we've got another spammer here. Metaphysical stuff. All right. Madame Yodola, adore you. You can go goodbye. That's what you can do. Give feedback. Spam. Next. Ban this person. Done. Okay. Last week, okay. Last week, a lot of people were reporting the spammers, and I had a lot fewer in between. Sometimes on Friday night and Saturday, I get a whole lot of them, but last week I didn't. So if you are inclined to report these spammers when you see them, I would love that. Okay, Tanya, yes. You are welcome, my friend. Absolutely. They are beautiful colors, aren't they? And they're so vibrant. They're also very different from each other. I don't know if I would wear a skirt of one of those and a blouse of another, and yet they absolutely belong together. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm getting the impression. Okay, that was Tanya. Okay, Regina is here waiting. And I nearly forgot her. Okay. This is why I scroll back, I guess. So, as a topic for self-reflection, oh, that's interesting. There's a card turned around. Regina. Okay, I'm going to draw for you intentionally, and then I'll show you what jumped out, and maybe it will make sense too. All right, so for Regina, you get, hey Jen, you get to celebrate. How nice is that? We're coming up to May Day, and where I grew up, hawthorn was used to make floral crowns for the Queen of the May. It was usually a young girl, not a tiny girl, but like a 10, 11, 12-year-old. It was the Queen of the May. I have no idea how that process was conducted. I was never in the running for it, that I know. Anyway, the hawthorn, the idea of celebration, and springtime, April into May here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is, I'm a spring baby, so I totally celebrate seeing the new buds and the new blossoms and the new leaves coming out. The two, a self-reflection. Perhaps you don't celebrate yourself enough, Regina. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and celebrate the amazing spirit and kindness and the love and the impact that you make in the world, and all of the things that you do that are worth celebrating, that perhaps you sometimes forget. 2 is about who you are in community. It's about relationships. It's about your household and your extended family and your village and your workplace, all of those groups of people and who you are with them, and yeah, celebrating your role in those communities. 5 is about growth. It's about progress, expansion. It's sort of spring energy, right? Where everything is growing and becoming bigger and brighter and more complex. From tiny little bud, we can get a flower with hundreds of petals, right? There's just an expansion into complexity that is astonishing. 5 energy is gorgeous, and this year the world is in 5 energy. When you add up 2021, then you have you have a 5. So that's where we are, if we will just tap into that vibration and move forward, getting bigger and better as we go. These are adding up to a 7, which is the teacher. We call it the teacher. I have no idea if there are young people around you, but when you are celebrating yourself and your skills, and even if it's just like, oh, look, I've just made the best cupcake ever. The little people, the the fools, when we talk about the seekers and the ones who are just starting their journey towards enlightenment, they will learn from you to celebrate all of the wonderful things. You woke up breathing this morning. Celebrate that, because a bunch of people didn't, right? It is. Yes, that's a really nice energy. So while I was shuffling for that, Regina, the clover jumped out. Number 2, again, it's community. And I'm pretty sure you're in Ireland. So the 3 leaves, I know these aren't shamrocks, but it very much, 2 daughters. They learn from you so much. It's good they're grown up. They're still learning from you, though, because what does it look like to be a mum? What does it look like to what was our mum like? What is our mum like? These are questions people ask, and you can celebrate that too, right? All right, so I don't know if this is something like patriotic for you, or if it's about the community that is your family with your grown children. I don't know, but it did volunteer to be part of your reading. All right. Happy Friday, Jen. Lovely to see you. Your smiley face. I like that. Okay, where is my... All right. So on the topic of a place for, or a theme for self-reflection. It's the one right on the very bottom. Oh, you're welcome, Regina. This is so correct for you, Jen. You may have had this before, actually. So, mallow flowers. So bright and playful, right? So the caption is play. The number is 30. 3 is your point of inspiration. Zero is all of the everythings that ever was or will be. And we add them together and we get you flowing inspiration from all of it. When you're open to that flow, there's just no end to the original ideas and the concepts and the pictures and the words and the energy and the love that you can flow into the world without it feeling like effort. It isn't about efforting. You're just playing your way through life and bringing goodness. And I guess as a point of self-reflection, when your life is feeling yes, when your life is feeling really hard and stuck, then finding a way to slow down and get into that flow. It's when you're stuck, it's like the Abraham Hicks talks about you never get on a raft in the river and try to paddle upstream, because if you do, you're not going to get anywhere, and it's going to be really, really hard work. You're going to be stuck. Turning around and letting the water take you. So whatever is the direction, stop resisting what is there, go with it, allow it to flow, and that will open up flow from other directions as well, and it won't feel like hard work. Yeah. Yes, I don't know, I need to harness it. You're that's work too, harnessing creatures. Hello, Barbara in Nova Scotia. um More being, less doing, Jen, I guess. And I know that when you're living a life that has always been trained, we're trained from little people to do this and do that and do it right and do it this way and do it over there. It's very hard asking somebody to just be. It feels like really hard work too. It becomes like, I don't know how to just be. So this is a call to, it is a call to just be. I'm sorry. But you be already an inspired artist. You are already able to embody that wonderful inspiration in a great many ways. Yeah, just more play, more play. Barbara, talking about personal self-reflection and picking cards that will direct us towards topics we need to reflect on, and ways we need to, or we would benefit from. I guess there is no need. And Barbara, okay, reflecting on the abundance that surrounds you. It's very easy to forget sometimes how amazing our lives are, with protection from the weather and an avoidance of hunger and friends who love us and people we can laugh with and books we can read and learn from, and a free library in the community is a source of abundance for everyone to access the minds of the ages, and be able to connect with the minds of people who are either far away or long gone and no longer in the physical world. So there are lots of abundances that are available to us as a topic for self-reflection. I think this is about remembering that, and being, Abraham talks about hanging on to the wrong end of the stick, and when we're looking for things like financial prosperity and that sort of thing, we we're on the end of the stick that says, I don't have enough, I need more, I want things to be different. And we're not on the end of the stick that says, look how much I've got, this is amazing, which then gets reflected back by the universe. So, oh, here's a person who has lots, let's give them lots. This is a responsive and vibrational universe. Yeah. So abundance, you have abundance, and as you're open to it and grateful for it, there is more to come. One is you, awesome, so much that you bring to the world, so much wisdom and healing and tradition and vibration, literally vibration, that you bring with your drumming and that kind of thing. Awesome stuff. And then the 7, which is the teacher, and yes, of course you teach, and yes, of course you're always learning, and they're adding together into that 8, which is the flow. And once you're in the flow, then things can flow to you just as easily as they can flow from you. So reflecting on where and whether you need to just connect with that feeling of how abundant your life is. I think that's the topic for that one. You're welcome, Jen. Okay, Barbara. There's nobody come in since Barbara. All right. I think I'm all caught up. Nice. All right. So we'll talk about, while you're here, please like and follow the page. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. It'd be awesome. Last year I had a springtime special that I started. It was going to be for the month of May, because by the end of May the lock-in would be over. That didn't quite work out as planned or as anticipated. And I did keep my spring special going until, I think, end of July. I'm unsure. Yes. This May, I'm going to be offering another special of some kind. It isn't carved in stone yet, so I don't know. But keep watching, keep checking the website. If you don't get my newsletter, please sign up for that. There is a link on this page, and it's pinned at the top of this page, in fact. Or you can go to my website and sign up there. That's www.joleath.com, spelt just like my name is spelt on this page, JOLEATH.com. And there's a whole lot of other stuff there too. There's 8-9 years worth of blogs with lots of information about numerology and other things. There's there are some different categories, I guess they are, of the blogs that you can click on. I know there's one about synchronicity. There's one called The Miracle of Physical Life, which is always fun when I get to the end of a blog and go, oh my goodness, this is where that belongs, because it does tend to get classified after I've written it. There's a topic also about labyrinths, and this month I'm all labyrinths all the time this month, because World Labyrinth Day, which really is a global event, is on the first Saturday of May every year, and this year that means it's May the 1st. So yeah, we can be doing Queen of the May on that day too. Of course, things are different last year and this year. It's not going to be big crowds of people at outdoor labyrinths, or especially not at indoor labyrinths. Not going to be big crowds anywhere, I don't think. Um, the labyrinth is an amazing portal for source energy. It is, in some ways, they're usually round. I don't have one in front of me. Yes, I do, maybe. This one is a triple spiral. But it's a pathway that there are many different designs. This just happens to be a triple. A pathway, not a maze. There's no need for decision making. The path will lead you all the way to the center without having to make any decisions or turnarounds or being blocked or anything like that. I've lost what I was going to say about this. The labyrinth is, if you picture it as the equator in a globe, if it is the central layer in a sphere, the labyrinth energy exists in that sphere. When you are walking on this surface, you're centered in this sphere of amazing energy that can be tapped into for all sorts of insight and personal transformation. Is absolutely love labyrinths. I love labyrinths. So this year I do think that there absolutely will be a lot of different events online. And I have been doing this month and continue to do this month. I've got 2 more Saturdays. On Saturday at 11 Eastern, my quiet time. We've been doing a survey of quiet practice, and this month I've been working with labyrinths in different ways. Tomorrow is going to be about applying the 9 numbers, the energy of the numbers in numerology, to the paths of a 7-circuit Cretan labyrinth, which I don't have one of to show you. I'm sorry. Yes, I do. I'm wearing one. Okay. And the camera's so weird. So if you start at the top and write in each of the paths 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you end up with it's really hard to show you. It didn't occur to me to bring an illustration. Anyway, it means that when you go in, the first path that you walk is the number 7, which is the teacher. It's the spiritual number. 7 and 9 are the 2 spiritual numbers. So when we come into life, it is about being as spirit to begin with. And when you follow the path and you do all the different things, it's a beautiful way of telling the story of what it means to become human and to be human. It's absolutely amazing. I love labyrinths. So if you're around, Zoom tomorrow, Saturday at 11 Eastern. The link is on my website on the events page, or you can message me, or you can go to the contact us on the web page and drop me an email. I will happily send you the link, and we will be quiet together and learn lots and be in that energetic field. So while we were much more inside over the winter and during times when, right now in Ontario, we're very, very closed. So working with handheld labyrinths has become a much wider practice than it used to be. They used to be sort of just a off to the side of the big walking a labyrinth, with your whole body, literally walking the paths of a labyrinth. And these were on the side for people who couldn't walk, or didn't want to walk, or who were just exploring the idea. It kept children happy, playing with things like this while the adults were doing something else. This has now become a very, very important practice for people when we can't gather in groups in person. We can gather in groups on Zoom, and we can together access that labyrinth energy by using a handheld. And it's we've got a new practice and a new way of practicing, and groups that come together, literally dozens and hundreds at a time, from all around the globe. So while World Labyrinth Day was always a global event, and it was always set for 1 o'clock local time, so that there was a ripple of people walking as the day went by, now we're able to be together in real time. There it will still be a very pointed 1 o'clock local activities going on, but it isn't limited to that day anymore, and it isn't limited to the people that you can see, or you can bus in, or you can gather at the cathedral, or whatever. It is now profoundly accessible to everybody. It's quite wonderful. It is very, very delightful that we're able to do this. All right, so what else? So I'm planning a tiny, small, real life event just on my essentially my driveway. So if you're in Ottawa on May the 1st, yeah, let me know. Maybe you can come and be a part of it, with distancing and with taking great care. It could be a very powerful thing. It could. All right, what else? What else can we talk about? There is, it's very much spring here, and there are so many, and the dandelions are starting. Love dandelions. Oh, and there's a card that really, really, I think is so springy. That was a peach tree. That when I was preparing the cards, I had this picture. I knew it was a fruit tree because I knew where I took the picture. But I had one of my consulting botanist friends, and who knew that anybody would have two friends who are consulting botanists, but I do. And I showed her this picture, and I said, I'm thinking it must be the apple tree. And she looked at it and went, "That's not an apple. Look at those buds. They're not even anything like an apple." That's a soft fruit. In fact, that is a peach. Okay, yes, there was a little peach tree where I was doing that. So it always amuses me to see that, to know that if you know those lovely rounded buds, I guess apple blossom buds are more pointed. I had never needed to pay attention to that, but the roundness and the softness of the fruit comes through for me when I look at this picture. And then, of course, the blue of the sky, which reflects the throat chakra. So it's about communication and the anticipation that we can have about telling or hearing stories, information, whether we're proselytizing or confessing or whatever it is. There's always things to look forward to in our communications. written or spoken or sung or whatever. Okay. Spring energy, definitely. Definitely spring energy. The lilacs, it's early here for lilacs, but I know that they're happening some places. I feel as though I'm forgetting something profoundly important, and I don't know just what it is. Got lots of buds for the springtime. I like that one too. It is. Again, there's just so much future bundled up into little spherical places. I do not have a I don't have a list of things to talk about. That might be a mistake. So, Labyrinth, Saturdays at 11. Next to, well, we're doing quiet practice. And if you've been around, you might have been doing some different meditations and chants and mantras. We did that last month. This month is all different labyrinth things. And May the 1st, of course, will be too. I have no idea what's going to come after that. Tuesdays at 2 o'clock, I am still doing meditation in Zoom, and again, you can get a hold of me for the link. Oh, excuse me. I'm already into my teaching basic numerology course, and we had a wonderful session on Sunday, and there's another one coming up, and I have ended up again with people saying, "Oh, I've missed it," or "Oh, my schedule won't allow it at this time." So I may very well offer it again. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're on the newsletter list. Make sure. Oh, I need to draw a community card. I think that's a bit important, isn't it? For people who are watching this on the video, either here on Facebook or on YouTube later, or indeed if anybody's here lurking, I don't know if they are. Okay, so if you're not able to you haven't been able to be here live, but you do wonder what would have been your card, what direction self reflection would look like for you. Oh, this is perfect. This is so correct. This is release. This is so often when certainly when I engage in self-reflection, I find lots of stuff that got put into my psyche and into my thinking and my worldview that no longer serves. So reflecting on that which can be released, just let that stuff go. No longer appropriate. 2 is us in community. 1 is us as individuals adding up to the inspiration. We can make a lot more room to be inspired when we're not rigidly hanging on to old ideas. And you know, for me, my parents were doing their very best to raise me to be happy and functional in the world of the 1960s. That's not where I live. This is a very different world. And I need to, and have needed to release a great many ideas and limits and worldviews that were appropriate then, but are not appropriate anymore. And yeah, so as a place of self-reflection, I still find things every now and then. I'll have an instinctive reaction to something, or I will quietly pass a judgment and on somebody else's words or actions, and then I do now notice myself and catch myself and go, where did that come from? And it came from something in 1959, and it was appropriate then, not appropriate anymore. Release it, let that stuff go, and that will open up space for a lot more new new learning and new caring and new love and new understandings. Oh, yes, zealous, resilient. Just what we need. Okay, next. All right. So hopefully, please feel free to also ban these creatures. All right. So it's 2:51. That final 10 minutes is when some people show up, so I'm not going to go away. If you're watching the video, I'm sorry. It's just going to be more of me, unless anybody who's here, if you want to make a comment, ask a question, do something to get me off my own bizarre track. What else? What else? What else? I feel as though I'm busy all the time, and yet I have nothing. I do have time, not in the next week, but after the next week. I have time blocks where I'm accepting clients. I love meeting clients on Zoom, although I any of the visual stuff, right? The Facebook Messenger video or FaceTime. And I will do telephone if people want to do telephone. I enjoy the being able to look at someone and have a real feeling of dialogue and being together. So I do have spaces for clients. I'm always happy for new clients. Always happy for old clients to come back, because there's always updating stuff to do. All right. So in the absence of anything, Carol, I would read a card for your son, James. Absolutely. James, if James is inclined to self-reflection, that is to be supported and encouraged, for sure. All right. All right. Oh my. Jen, you're asking the questions now. Okay, so this is for James. This is gorgeous because, yes, is he engaging in self-reflection? He drawing self-awareness card would suggest that now is the time, for sure. If he wasn't before, he should be now. This is a beautiful card. I love this card. The one which is the self, that is the identity, that energy that was James at the beginning of all time, which, there was no beginning because time is infinite. And it will be James until the end of time, and there is no end because time is infinite. So that that personality, that identity that sits at the core of James, that is the number one here. The zero is a representation of all things, of all space and all time. And so when we add them together, this is James with all of that within him. And for him to be looking inside, to be seeing the light that is his spiritual self, and reflecting on his role and his activities and his what it is that he is teaching and learning during life, becoming self-aware is and reflecting on that as a cue for self-reflection, seeing his self-awareness, seeing maybe he needs to expand the areas in which he is aware. Sometimes we think, I've figured out something went wrong when I was 21 and now I've fixed it and it's all good. And then you later on you look back and go, oh, the reason it went bad when I was 21 was because this happened when I was 16. So there's always, it's layers of an onion, right? It's he is very self-aware. That's cool. That's cool. So reflecting on that is what the cards say. Now Jen, still here, excited about Sunday. Me too. I'm really enjoying. Really enjoying. How does numerology interact with astrology or psychic materials? Numerology. I had a friend, I still have a friend, who is an astrologer. She's retired now, but there was a time when we both worked at the same place. And every now and then we would have a client who came to see me one week and her another time, or vice versa. But we shared we shared clients. And what happened, we found, was that I would see them, and going through their chart, and the personality number, their destiny number, their reality number, the birth force that is with them over the whole of their lives. So they've all got influence, and I would talk about that. And I think every time, if it was somebody who had already seen the astrologer, they would say, that's what she told me. You're telling me the same stuff. Well, I got it a completely different way, because I didn't have anything to do with the planets, and the position of them and where they were in the sky and that kind of thing. But the information that they were getting from me was the same. And of course, it happened the other way too, that she would have one of my clients, and as she is saying, because Jupiter is in the fourth house or whatever, then here is this, this, and this. But the numerologist told me that that's because I've got something with my vowels. Yes, it's all that. We leave ourselves all sorts of clues and information and different ways to access this wisdom. And just, I often say, all the roads lead up the mountain. We're all heading up to the top, right? Um, we've no matter which way we choose to find, and for some people, visiting a psychic or a medium is that's where they get their messages of spiritual truth. Um, it's the same. We as the vast entities that we are, and we don't, not everything fits into a tiny little baby brain when we come into the physical. So that part of why I talk about quiet practice and getting to that place deep and central and connected, because that's where we can get back to the vast amounts of wisdom that are out there, and that's where we find the clues that we've left for ourselves, to help to direct us, to reveal our intentions, to show us what it was that we thought we were going to be able to do while we're here, right? So it's related. It's also not related. It is. I'm never going to tell you, oh, number 7 is exactly the same as the planet Mercury. No, not connected at all in those terms. But in terms of the information and the wisdom, the clues that we have left ourselves that we can go looking for, it's always coherent. There's nobody is going to be told by an astrologer, a good and accurate astrologer, you were born to be a musician, and then be told by somebody else, by a numerologist, you were born to be a bricklayer. Because no, it's going to show up as an integrated plan that we came into the human experience to live. All right, good question, Jen. Thank you. I like that. And it is now 3 o'clock, and all is well. So thank you, whoever is still here. Thank you for staying. If you're watching the video, thank you very much for staying right to the very end. I appreciate that. Please leave comments and get a hold of me and do stuff and come see me, because I love doing what I do. And I will be back here next Friday at 2 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you then. I don't know what yeah, I don't have a particular plan for next Friday, so I'll just leave that alone. So stay home if you possibly can, and absolutely if you're in Ontario, please stay home. Be very safe if you have to go out, and be kind to each other. And I will look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.